Hello. Hi, Ken, and welcome to Vietnam, Hanoi, all the way from Northern Ireland. And we welcome you also to AECC office today to join our session for the students.
Thanks for the warm welcome, Van. I've had an amazing time here in Hanoi. It's a fantastic city, a really vibrant place, and Vietnam as a whole has been a great experience for me.
Yeah, and thank you for that, and thank you for the good words about Hanoi and Vietnam. And let's start with Ulster, right? Okay, so we talk about a lot of different universities all over the world, in Australia, Northern America, and especially the UK. And what's the special thing about Ulster University comparing to other part of England, part of UK?
Yeah, well, Ulster really is. It's a special place, and it's quite different. I mean, I've worked in universities throughout the UK and been working in universities throughout the world as well. But Ulster really is a place there's something special about Ulster. You know, there are more than one side to a university. Of course, you have that kind of academic side and that academic excellence, and that's something where Ulster really does excel. You know, especially with research output, it's becoming one of the top universities in the UK in leading research excellence. But for me, always the most important thing about a university is a student experience. And Ulster University students are some of the happiest students in the UK, and I think that's what really kind of makes it a special place, you know. In terms of graduate employability, it's been voted number one in the UK as a university by students. In terms of value for money, it's been voted the third top university to study at in the UK, and there's much more than I can say, but I think the personal support and the relationships that we lecturers have with our students makes Ulster a really special place.
Yeah, so very special and customized student experience, value for money, and quality in research and teaching, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so normally Vietnamese students going to the UK, they think about England, Scotland, and partly Wales. So what's special about studying abroad in Northern Ireland? How it is different from the other part of the UK?
Northern Ireland is a unique part of the UK. I mean, politically and economically, it's attached to the United Kingdom, but culturally, it is also very much attached to the Republic of Ireland, our sister country, and that makes it, something really special. The Irish are known throughout the world for being welcoming, or in Irish we would say fáilte. It is a beautiful country. Ask anyone who's ever been to Ireland, to Northern Ireland, if they enjoyed it, and you'll always get the answer yes. We've got everything from the beaches to the mountains to the vibrant cities of Belfast and Derry, Londonderry. Great sports, great food, great music, and what we call we have something special, what we call the crack in Ireland, and the crack is the good times, the fun, and there's nowhere like Northern Ireland for the crack.
Oh, okay, so it's good new word today to learn, the crack, right?
The crack,
so it
yes.
sounds a lot like study, work and life balance in Belfast and the beaches, right?
Yeah, I think Northern Ireland has kind of that little bit of everything, but it's small. You don't have to travel far from Belfast to you're in the mountains, or you're on the beach, or walking along the Giant's Causeway, and especially if any of you guys are listening or Game of Thrones fans, that's where most of it was filmed. So we have a lot of tourism now because of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, Game Throne is also a phenomenon in Vietnam.
Oh, really?
Among my
Yes.
friends, everyone know about that, so it's for sure very famous. Okay, so talking about the university, you have so many campuses, so student can choose to study here and there, right? So what's the different lifestyle among the campuses?
Each of Ulster's campuses they have their own character and their own individuality. Coleraine, which is kind of our mother campus, I suppose. The first campus of Ulster University is situated right on the north coast of Northern Ireland, which is, widely recognised as one of the most beautiful coastlines in the world. Particularly for those who love the sea, who love surfing, canoeing, all of those kind of outdoor activities, it makes it a really kind of special place to study. Belfast is different. Belfast is a vibrant city. It's one of the top destinations in Europe, and now becoming one of the top destinations in the world.
Yeah.
Our campus in Belfast is brand new. It's state of the art. The technology, the facilities there are really something special, and that's helping that particular campus to stand out. Our third main campus, our Magee campus in Northern Ireland's second city, in the city of Derry, Londonderry, is our oldest campus. If you imagine, if you've seen Harry Potter,
Yeah.
and you've seen Hogwarts, that's Magee campus.
Okay. Yeah, that's lovely to hear about many different choice lifestyle and campuses for the student in their hands to choose, right? Okay, so we talk about the city, we talk about the campuses and lifestyle. So about the courses and programs, so what are the outstanding program at Ulster?
Ulster has a kind of a massive range of programs, each with their own kind of merits as well. In terms of worldwide recognition, psychiatry, psychology are definitely up there. Engineering is also are really well respected at Ulster, and our civil engineering programme in particularly is very, very well respected.
Yeah.
But we're continually developing new courses, particularly these days in the field of film design.
Yeah.
We've got some of the state-of-the-art studios built within our Belfast campus. Many of the lecturers there who are teaching that kind of area have worked for Disney, BBC, HBO, our nursing and our dentistry are absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
As well. Our nurses, our dentists are really sought after throughout the UK and even internationally to employ. But I can't not talk about the School of Education. That's where I come from, and that's certainly one of our strengths at Ulster, is the School of Education.
Yeah, so thank you for letting us know a variety of choices for the student. And sounds like very up to date, very modern, and very practical for future jobs also, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's where we really focus on is
Yep.
employability with our students. We have a great employability. 94% of our students upon graduation are either in employment or in further study.
Yeah, thank you for that. Wow, Ken, so when the students go to international universities, so clearly what they care about is not about the program, the ranking, but also about the support to the students. So what does Ulster University have for their international student that you want to highlight?
I think that, reflecting back to what I said earlier on, that you saw that the kind of really high rates of happiness among Ulster University students, and that includes also our international students. Ireland itself is such a welcoming place, and students just they feel at home there. even after a short time.
Yeah.
But we do have a lot of inbuilt systems within the university to offer the special support for our international students, to help them get settled in, to help them get part-time jobs, to give them support with their English language skills if that's needed, to give them support with their academic writing, and to help them to kind of adapt to culturally to Ireland as well. We find that our international students, they just blend in and they just become Ulster students. And we see the students, local students, students from Republic of Ireland, from Europe, from Asia, Africa, particularly South Asia, all working together on projects, all hanging out as friends, and it's just kind of becomes one big happy family, really.
Yeah, so it would be a very welcoming communities for both local students and international students to blend in, right?
Yeah, most certainly. Most certainly.
Okay, so that's about the support, and we talk about the course, the university and international student support already, and how about scholarship? So clearly, it's a very big concern of the student coming out of the country, right? And talking about scholarship, another season of Chevening is coming for Chevening Scholarship 2024, which Ulster University is also a partner. So what's your recommendation to our future candidate about reaching high scholarship? Is part-time jobs, work experience, and extracurricular activities is a big contribution for their profile?
I can give prospective scholarship students a lot of advice, because scholarships is an area that I work a lot in. That's why I'm here in Vietnam. I've got 9 absolutely fantastic English language teachers who've received scholarships to come to Ulster University. In relation to the Chevening scholarships, or really to any scholarships, we are always looking for students who stand out, who have a clear goals, have a clear path in mind, know where they want to be and know what they want to achieve, and know how to get there. Scholarship students, it goes far beyond your academic level of success. We want to see people who are who have contributed to their country, to their local community, and have clear plans to do that. Particularly within the Chevening scholarships that you're mentioning, I myself help with the Chevening scholarships, assessing the Chevening scholarships, and we are looking for future leaders, for future influencers, for people who want to help to make a difference within their country. And that's not just about people who have achieved good grades at university. It's about your volunteering experience. It's about taking initiative. It's about identifying problems that are locally and trying to solve those problems. And that's what you need to be doing to achieve a scholarship. Scholarships don't just come for people with their nose in books or behind a computer screen. The people who get scholarships are the people who are out there doing something for their community, helping people who are less maybe privileged than themselves. And I mean, that's certainly the case for the scholarships that I've approved in the past.
So clearly for the scholarship, especially Chevening that we are talking about, so not only academic profile, but also leaderships, the impact, networking, and the contribution to the communities are very prioritized, right?
Yes, and one last piece of advice I would give for anybody applying for any kind of scholarship program is to make sure that you do your research about the particular program that you want to be applying for. Look at your professors, your lecturers, read their research papers, look at the program, make sure that you have identified the program that's most suitable for you, that's going to help you to achieve your goals, and because we ask those questions.
Yeah, thank you for that. And I think that would be very useful for the students because the application for Chipling will open next month, September 2023, for 2024 intakes. So be prepared and be confident to get ready for it, right? Okay.
Yeah, certainly. And I would really encourage students to look at the courses at Ulster University and identify ones there and put those within their top priorities.
Yeah.
And if they need further support with helping with advice for their application, they can get in touch with us at Ulster, or I'm sure you guys at AEC will help them too.
Yeah, that would be great, and we of course very willing to help our student to come to Northern Ireland and Ulster. Okay, so talking about the university again, I know that employability is in the spotlight of Ulster. You give a lot of priority for employability. So does Ulster you support international student in what perspective?
As I mentioned earlier, Ulster University is massively high in employability, and indeed, our programs, many of our programs are very, very practical based, and that means that often our programs involve placement. And that means we put you into the workplace, into a company, into a school, into a hospital, into whatever particular pathway that you're finding it, to give you that real life experience. Because you can't learn everything from listening to a lecture or reading a book. You've really got to get out there. And for international students, for example, for Vietnamese students coming to Ulster, getting the opportunity to perhaps teach in a Northern Irish school, to work in a Northern Irish hospital, to be placed in a British company, all of these kind of things will really open their eyes to see how different things work, and then they can take that with them when they come back to Vietnam or wherever they're coming from, and apply that. And that work experience it looks fantastic on their CV. And you know what? Many of those students actually end up getting offered jobs in their work experience.
That's always very good steps.
They perform well. But we have an excellent career development centre to help our students to plan their career paths, to develop their CVs, to improve their employability skills, and even just right down to their part-time jobs when they're students as well. With your Tier 4 visas, you can work up to 16 hours a week, and we often help our students to get their part-time jobs, to get jobs that will help to benefit their CVs as well. Not just working in a cafe or a shop or work, but actually to get them working in industries that will benefit them in the future.
Yeah, so I can summarize with some keyword, right? Help with part-time job, right? As a school, employment opportunities, going out for the real work environment with the local link and industry link, which is strongly engaged.
Okay. So and indeed, many of our, for example, many of our bachelor courses are actually 4 years, because we have that 1 year where what we call a sandwich year, where we'll send you out into placement and give you that real experience.
Yeah, that would be great. Okay, so thank you for that. And Cain come from the School of Education.
School of Education. That's my home in Ulster.
Talking about education and TESOL today, right? So about yourself, Cain. So why did you choose to work in education sector, and what does it mean to you?
I come from a family of teachers. Teaching is in my family. My grandfather was a primary school headmaster back in Northern Ireland, And I think that, you know, that was important. It's something that runs in the family. I myself actually intended to be a history teacher, but upon graduating, I decided I want to go and travel. I wanted to see the world. And I ended up teaching English in Mozambique, in Africa, working with orphans there. And I found it such a kind of rewarding experience. I returned to Northern Ireland. I did my teaching qualification, and then I began to travel the world, teaching in Russia, South Korea, and coming back to the UK. I worked in England in higher education, working with international students for a long time before I moved into teacher training.
Yeah.
And that's what I do now, because I felt it was the natural progression to train the teachers for the future.
Yeah, that's a very interesting story, like with a family, like teaching history, right? Actually, it's the same to me, because from my grandma to my parents, they are all teachers.
Oh, really?
Yeah. My parents are also headmaster of some high schools. So now I'm working in the education sector now. So it's a very coincidence, but very interesting, fascinating to do. And it's good to know that education bring you out to the world, across the continents, and back to the UK, Belfast, and now again, like help our international students again to build up their profile, degree and career in the UK and back home. Right? So that's a very meaningful story, like to contribute and to share to each other.
Yeah. That's really what education is about.
Yeah, thank you. Well, Ken, so if the learners want to apply for TESOL and without a directly related degree and background, specifically if they study business, marketing or finance, so can they apply for TESOL?
Yes. One of the things that is very different about Ulster University's TESOL program is that is the real focus on practical teaching. And that means that we do take students from a range of different backgrounds, as long as they can kind of demonstrate that they have a passion for teaching. I mean, my undergraduate degree was not in education, it was in history and politics. But here I am as a teacher today. Many of the TESOL postgraduate programs throughout the United Kingdom would require students to have a minimum of 2 years teaching experience. And these particular degrees are mostly theoretical. Ulster University's TESOL is mostly practical. So we do take teachers from a range of different backgrounds, even those with quite limited or even no teaching experience, because we train you to become a teacher and we help you to become a teacher. All our modules are very focused on the practice of teaching. You will be teaching, you'll be micro-teaching straight away once you start your program, and a large element of the TESOL at Ulster is actually your teaching practice and your teaching placement. We talked about our placements and employability kind of earlier on. And this is also true with the TESOL program. We place our students for a period of 8 weeks within a school or college or even within a university for the period of 8 weeks. And that really gives them that practical teaching experience. So therefore, it doesn't matter if you do have a business background or even a history or politics like me, and you know, especially if you've been working in translation or something like that, that means that you've already got that strong linguistic background, and we can help you then to take your knowledge of linguistics and to turn that around and to learn how to use that as a teacher.
Yeah, actually you already answered of a few perspectives of my next question, but I still want to discuss more about, for example, if the students have a little teaching experience, about 2 years or less than 2 years in different field, so how they can improve their profile when applying for TESOL?
Certainly, take every kind of opportunity that you can. Volunteer teaching, working as a teaching assistant, even just one-to-one teaching, some private teaching. A lot of my students have maybe helped teaching something like IELTS or even teaching younger kids. But as I kind of mentioned, even if you don't really have lots of teaching experience, we will take you on our TESOL program and we will make you a teacher.
Thank you. And we're talking about education in general also. So many students going to the UK looking for education study, they think about TESOL first. But besides TESOL, what is available out there in the UK and Ulster for international students to choose? What would you recommend?
Well, I can certainly tell you about what we can offer you, what the School of Education offer at Ulster University, because we goes much beyond TESOL. For our undergraduate students, many of them will take education as a minor along with their main program. So, for example, if they are a history student, they study history and education, English, education, even engineering with education is available. So it allows students to focus on perhaps the subject that they're passionate about, but also gain the knowledge about theory and practice with education. And this really helps them if they want to go on to do postgraduate study. Within the School of Education, probably our main focus is what we call our PGCEs. Now, these are what qualification that you need to teach in schools in Britain. Currently controlled by the British government, but something that we are working on, something quite special that we're currently working on at Ulster University is developing an international PGCE, an international postgraduate certificate in education. For example, I know here in Vietnam there are a number of British schools teaching a British curriculum, doing GCSEs, A-levels, and that's the same throughout the world. The international PGCE lets students go to work within these schools. So this is something that we're working on for teachers who would like to go into that particular area, which is generally quite well paid, if I know, really good schools with good facilities. In addition to that, we have our Masters in Education with specialisms. This is a completely e-learning program, so you don't have to actually go to Northern Ireland to do this program. It's really designed for those already working in the teaching profession, not just in schools, but in training, in companies, in various teaching professions. And it's really if you want to start moving up in building your career, moving higher. So if you want to move into management, to be a principal, or maybe if you want to focus on particular areas such as special and inclusive education, or children's learning and assessment. And lastly, we also teach librarians. So we do library studies as well, which can be learned on campus or also by distance.
That's interesting because based on the answer, I can find out a lot of promising part for Vietnamese students. For example, the PCCE, like to learn and come back to teach in British curriculum schools here in Vietnam, or even opportunities in the UK, and also for the education practitioners to develop their career in school management or become a education practitioner or education and training, to have like better degree and profile to support their job career ladder also. That's
certainly.
Amazing.
The international PGC is something we're working on, but you never know. We maybe even in the future be able to deliver that here in Vietnam with a partner institution.
That would be amazing, and we wait for the good news. Yeah, thank you. Okay, talking about nowadays students, they express their characteristic and personality very bold and very clear. So how do you see the characteristics of students of Ulster in general and in your program education? And do you have any special memory with your current or alumni students?
Well, you know, every student is different. Every student has their own kind of special personality. Especially, I think, these days, now that we have more and more international students coming to Ulster, you can really see the diversity within the cohort of students. Certainly, the Irish students, they're very, very jolly, very welcoming. In Ireland, we definitely focus on enjoying our lives as well, and this really comes across with the international students as they fit in too. So many great students that I can remember, and it's really wonderful to see their journeys, especially those becoming teachers, you know, building their confidence, getting them into the classroom. One student from last year who was absolutely amazing was actually an Indonesian student who came on a scholarship to Ulster University to do her TESOL program, and she actually ended up with a distinction, with the top grade in the class. As an international student, this is a great achievement, and to see her really grow as a student and to grow as a teacher was fantastic. And you know, I've seen probably teachers with years of experience that just didn't have her passion and her connection with the kids that she had in her class. And funny story, she's actually ended up falling in love with a Northern Irish guy and getting married, and she's still there teaching.
It's impressive to hear about her story, and it's always good, and feel very special when hearing a teacher telling the story about his own students. Wow. It's very encouraging, and we hope that in the future we can have more Vietnamese students going to Ulster, enjoy their life in Belfast, taking the degree. And it's not always all about learning, but about what they take and what they contribute, what they share. Either they live in the UK or coming back home, right? So very encouraging.
Yeah, I mean, going to university, of course, it's about your education and about learning, but education is not just about books, about academia, it's about life. And coming to Northern Ireland, you will definitely learn a lot about life that you can take back. And we're sincerely looking forward to welcoming the 9 fantastic Vietnamese scholars that have been supported by Ulster University and British Council.
And of course, so with 9 recent scholars in the TESOL program to Ulster, is also very motivational and inspirational story that we can share more to our Vietnamese students. And guys, everyone, so today we say thank you again for Cain for coming to Hanoi, Vietnam, share the stories about Ulster, and hopefully we can meet in near future to talk more about studying and living in Northern Ireland, in Belfast, and at Ulster University. And thank you, Cain.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Van. And I'll see you the next time I'm in Vietnam.
Thank you, and hope to see you back soon. Thank you, and enjoy your next trip to Hanoi.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to it.